Welcome to another tier list. In less than 2 weeks, this band is releasing a record. Again, it's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I really like this band, like a lot. Let's just dive in, because I did a take of this, and it was almost an hour long. So I'm going to be fast. I'm not going to do too much analyzing per se. I'm just going to rank. And if you've never heard this band and you're thinking about checking them out, maybe this will be a recommendation on where to start. I don't know. All I know is that if you have heard this band and you like this band as much as I do, this is going to piss you off. So let's get right into it. Their first EP. Now, this is all their studio albums and EPs. I did not want to include any live albums since they have so many. I did not want to include the remix of Butterfly 3000 or their collaboration with Tropical Fuckstorm, because that they don't feel like King Gizzard albums, if that makes sense. So I did not those did not qualify. Everything else though, everything that's on the Spotify, Teenage Gizzard, I'm gonna have to put that in D. It's a very solid start, and it sounds great for how poor their recording quality could get, And I mean, what do you expect from their first ever EP of a lo-fi surf rock garage rock band? Like, it's as good as it's gonna get. But despite being good enough for me to listen to it, I'm putting it in D because comparatively speaking, it's kind of meh. Same thing with Willoughby's Beach, but it's slightly better. I like it slightly more. I like Blacktooth is really fun. There's some really fun tunes, but I don't know. I don't know. Next up, 12 Bar Brews. I'd put it in C. Solid effort. Let's first full LP. It's got some really fun tunes on it. Despite the fact that you should give it credit for sounding so good for a record that was recorded in a garage with 4 iPhones, it still doesn't sound that good. Like knowing the recording process was so limited, it sounds great. Without that, I'm not a huge fan of like the lo-fi sound. I really like my crisp production. But we're being generous. It could be a D, but it's a C because I still enjoy it. Eyes Like the Sky, down at the bottom of D. It's hard to listen to this album because it really begs for your attention. It's just a story, but not like concept album story, like, oh, the lyrics tell it. No, there's no lyrics. It's spoken word. The music does a really good job being a background music for the spoken word story, but if I wanted an audiobook, I'd turn to this album, but I'm not an audiobook guy. I like listening to music. So there you are. This is going to piss people off. I actually don't like it as much as 12 Bar Brews. I'm putting it in D because I only ever return to Float Along, Fill Your Lungs if I'm listening to the whole discography. And it's fine. Keep in mind, S through D I like. Now, well, what kind of tier list is that? S through D you like? Yeah, it's not bad. I enjoy listening to it, but compared to everything else, it's a D. Just saying. Oddments, C. Not bad. I like that it's kind of varied, you know? But like I said, it's just comparatively not as good as what's to come. That's all I can really say. I like it, but it's just not as good. Speaking of our first A, I really like I'm in Your Mind Fuzz. I really like it. Um, but does it belong in A? I might change these around afterwards. This is already completely different than my first tier list that I made and recorded. Um, Quarters. This is a B. Solid. Enjoyable. I've been listening to it a couple times recently. If I enjoyed it the way I have been since I've first heard it, maybe it would be higher, but it doesn't really have a special place in my heart the way anything in S and maybe A would. But I do enjoy it and I return to it a lot. Paper Mache Dream Balloon. Slightly better. Slightly better than Quarters. Not by much. I do enjoy it. I enjoy the story. It's a fun story. The fact that it's like a folky acoustic album is unique, and you know after they kind of came into their own on I'm in Your Mind Fuzz, and then toned it down with Quarters, became more of a jam band that we're going to see later. It's nice to have a break, you know, have a reprieve in the discography, have some acoustic stuff. But in a vacuum, it's like it's pretty okay, even borderline good. But there's some moments where it dulls down, and it's like it's got its hits and it's got its skips. Though I don't usually skip. I'm not a skip guy, but if I were a skip guy, there'd be a couple. Nonagon Infinity. This used to be an A, now it's an S. I love this album. I really love this album. I was listening to it in the car today. It's seamless. Even the last track seamlessly transitions into the first track. Of course, not on CD because the machine goes between the last song and the first song so that the laser can go back to the start. But on digital, I listened to this for the first time. I think it was Apple Music, and I didn't realize that the album started over again until I checked my phone. I was like, wait a minute, that isn't that the second album? Yeah, or second song rather. Isn't that the second song? Yeah. It was so cool. Next, Flying Microtonal Banana. Here's another A. This is what got me into the band. Rattlesnake, 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 rattlesnake. That's all I need to say about this album. Flying Microtonal Banana is really good. Okay, this is a great era. This is a great era for this band. Murder of the Universe. So far, my favorite out of these. It's so solid. I like that it's technically 3 songs, but it's split up into 21 tracks. Kind of fun. I mean, I never like go to a track like my listening experience would not change if it were 3 songs. But I don't know. It's cute. Got your sweet style thing going on. In case there's a part of the Tale of the Altered Beast you want to go to Alter Me 3. I really like it a lot. I think the production is solid. It's the heaviest we've gotten so far, and I like the heavy side of this band. So, chef's kiss. The sequel, Sketches of Brunswick East. A. It's really good. It used to be a skip album for me, but I've grown to really, really, really appreciate it lately, especially as a sequel to Murder of the Universe. It's jazz. It's jazz, baby. It's a thumbs up from me. Polygon Dwanaland. For the longest time, this was my favorite. And it's arguably still my favorite. I think if I were to look at the band objectively, I would call this their best. But I'm not objective, I'm subjective, and there's a couple albums I like more now. But for the longest time, it was my favorite. It's got synth, it's got polyrhythms, it's got Tool-like elements, but used better than Tool. And it tells a wonderful story about a child or young person seeking enlightenment and discovering the way to see the fourth color. I guess it's ultraviolet. And it's like third eye, whoa, mind blown. I keep giving these thumbs up. It's 2 thumbs up from me. Complete masterpiece. Gumboot Soup. I'm not a huge fan. Top of C. We had banger after banger after banger after banger, and then we got to this album, and it's like leftovers. It literally is leftovers. I like that it's various in genre. That's about it. I wouldn't point to any one of these songs and say that I like them a lot. They're my favorite. Maybe The Wheel. The Wheel's pretty good. Great Chain of Being's pretty good. That's about it. So, yeah, C. Fishing for Fishies. Bottom of A. Or top of B. Top of B. There's a lot of parts of this album that kind of drag. But there's a lot of parts of this album that rule. It's so inconsistent in quality, but the parts that are good are like really good. Like the last track, Psy Boogie, how it hits you, full synth. We're doing this, but synths instead of rock and roll instrumentation. It's such a great way to end it, and I feel like every time I listen to it, I just do it for the experience of getting to the last track. And you're going to notice a pattern that when they do this boogie kind of stuff, it's kind of When they actually experiment into unknown territory is when they're really good. And when they do what they're comfortable with, it seems like they also do comfortable stuff songwriting-wise, and they don't do something interesting with their comfort zone, and it reads as comfort music, and it's not what I look for in this band. I don't look to be comfortable. I look to rock out, and I look to be expanded and I look to expand into new territory, which is why I'm excited about this new record, because there's a little, like a mini orchestra. It's not a full orchestra, but there's orchestration. There's actual like stringed instruments and horns. It's going to be great. Infest the Rat's Nest. Bottom of A or top? These albums are so close together in how much I like them. It almost doesn't matter the order I put the A tier in. So I'm going to put it above Flying Microtonal Banana. Infest the Rat's Nest is thrash metal. We like that. And there's some really great thrash metal tunes on here that I feel like belong in the zeitgeist of thrash metal. Like Self-Immolate, Mars for the Rich. What's the last one? Hell. Hell's really good. KG. This is my favorite of the 3 Microtonal albums, actually, and I'm gonna put it above. I'm gonna put it at the top of A. I really like KG. It's really great setup for LW, which is next. It's also just really solid on its own. It's Actually really good on its own. I don't think there's a song on here that I do not love. Well, love. Lowercase love. Not uppercase. It's not S tier, but it's good. It's really good. And then you get to LW and it's kind of like here. It's kind of here in the B territory. Not quite as good as fishing for fishies, but it has the same problem as fishing for fishies, is that there's kind of an inconsistency in quality. KG, even the flying microtonal banana are consistent. This isn't. There's a couple of weak songs on here. So it's my least favorite of the 3 microtonal experimentation volumes. Butterfly 3000. I'm going to put that at the top of B. This one's weirdly good. I was not expecting to like it, and then I listened to it, and I was like, do I even like it? And I listened to it again, and I'm like, do I even like it? And I listened to it again, and I'm like, do I even like this? I do. I do. Made in Timeland. Another really interesting one. I'm putting it here. I'm putting it here in A because it rocks. It's experimental trance music, almost. It's very experimental, electronic sampling, which is not my cup of tea. But they do it in such a interesting way, and it's all based around 60 BPM, which, is one beat every second. It's trippy. It's like, it's not like what you'd expect from trance where it's like you dance to it. It's very ethereal. It's very open your mind, like very meditative at points. It's very groovy at points. It does a range of things. There's a little rapping in there as well, like rapping, like rap music. Ambrose comes in on the mic and raps a little. Kind of rules. Speaking of rapping, Omnium Gatherum is kind of It's kind of I like it a little more than I used to, but I don't think I'd put it up higher than eh. But do I like it more than Float Along, Fill Your Lungs? I might even, you know what? I like it more. I'm going to put it in C. I'm going to put it at the bottom of C because I've been liking it slightly more lately. I have. Like I said, when they're doing something more comfortable, it feels boring. And when they're experimenting, they're doing long jam band stuff. They're doing rap, R&B. Um, there's one song that's like a hard metal, and it just hits really hard. And there's another one in the same genre, and it's kind of weak, probably the weakest on the album. It's very varied in quality, and whereas I put something varied in quality in B before, it doesn't have as high as highs to me. It's a little less than its other inconsistent album types. Again, I appreciate that it varies in genre, but it's just not, it just kind of feels like leftovers, and it really is. It's the COVID album essentially. And you got to I know a lot of people really like this album. I just don't. I enjoy it. In fact, there are some songs that I enjoy more than the entire album experience, which shouldn't be the case. You should be able to enjoy a good album. It's better than any one of its songs. The totality of an album experience should be better than listening to one of the songs off of it. This is kind of the opposite. Next up, Ice, death, planets, lungs, mushrooms, and lava. I think I got it right. This is my favorite. It's which it shouldn't be. It's a jam band album. It's not super harmonically unique, and the songs drone on for a while. But oh my goodness, do I like this album. Each song is a different mode in the major scale. That doesn't mean it's all going up C or like it's going up the scale, and that doesn't mean that it's all based in the same key. Like there are 2 songs that are in A, there's one in D, stuff like that. But still, Ionian, Dorian, blah blah blah, and it goes through that throughout the album, and it's really satisfying, especially the last song. It's the last 2 songs are so satisfying. Next, the sequel to Made in Timeland, Laminated Denim, where instead of being a weird experimental throw things at the wall kind of album, this album is just like jam band, having fun. I really like it. It's also based around 60 BPM, but there's a lot of like polyrhythms where it's like, oh, it's 5 the 60 BPM is like the 5 against the tempo they're going for sometimes. It's really cool the way they are able to not be in 60 BPM but be related to it in some way with a polyrhythm, and there's always something reminding you 60 BPM throughout the entire thing. Especially Hypertension is such a good track. The end is so cathartic almost musically. I really like it, like a lot. Changes. Top of B? Don't get me wrong, I find my enjoyment. It's just I'm looking at every other album above it, and I just enjoy those more. Maybe it doesn't deserve B, maybe it deserves A, but I feel like A is getting crowded. Besides, we have 3 more. Petro Dragonic Apocalypse, etc. I'm a metal guy. I love me my metal. I love me my progressive metal. This is progressive metal. Done extremely well. It's essentially the metal version of Polygon Dwanaland, and that's exactly what I want from these guys. So it's not quite as good as Ice, Death, blah, 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 but it's such a great album. I think these top 3 are some of my favorite albums ever. Next, The Silver Chord. Conceptually, it's really low, but for some reason, it's really high. I'm going to put it at the top of A. I've been really enjoying this album, and even the extended editions where they take the first song, which is 3 minutes, and turn it into a 20-minute electronic jam session. I just find myself sitting in the car being like, oh, I have an hour and a half drive. Guess what? This album's a little over an hour and a half. I'm going to put on the extended edition and just jam out in the car. I've been doing that a lot lately, and it's been such a wonderful experience. And it's coincides with their progressive metal album, Petro Dragonic Apocalypse, blah, blah, blah. It's got elements of it, like rhythms and harmonies, and then the extended edition repeats lyrics, and each track coincide with each other. Like the first track of The Silver Chord has a reprise of the first track of Petro Dragonic Apocalypse, and so on and so forth. And I think that's such a unique idea. Such a cool idea. And you're going to notice something. Wow, you're so biased. You love this band so much, you haven't put anything in F. Flight B741 has maybe 3 good songs. Is that deserving of F? Yes, because it annoys me. Because there are 2 or 3 good songs that do the kind of bluesy folk country almost elements really well, like La Risk and Hog Calling Contest, I think it's called. And I've listened to this album plenty. I do not like it. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna ever listen to it again because I need to listen to the whole discography when I put it on. I'm just a nerd. I'm like autistic about it or whatever. But yeah, I do not like this album, and that's another reason why I'm excited for the next one, because I don't want the last album to be the stinker. Currently, it is, but in now a week and a half, that will change. So I really have to pee. So I'm going to just skedaddle. Let me know in the comments any other bands that you would like me to rank, and just any ideas. I'm open. Bye.